Okay, I've owned this guitar for kind of a long time now, and were these red strings ever cool? In my opinion, no, they were not. And so I've been kind of dreading putting this. There's no rush. I got plenty of inventory down here at the shop. But I finally was like, okay, I'm sick of every time I look in the box and I see this thing. It makes me puke. So I finally decided, okay, it's time to get in here and help this poor thing out. Get these red strings off of there. The Ibanez, it looks like the low pro tremolo on here. Inverted neck. Shark tooth inlays. EMG pickups. She's a little scratchy and everything here. The back of the neck looks really nice. Just got some scratchiness down here. Flat black finish that gets shiny. Some guys will buff these things out and make them all nice and shiny. I've seen that done. But let me see what I can throw underneath this trim. And also, real quick, let's plug it in and see if it's got a good battery in it. Let's see if the electronics are working properly. Ooh. It's pretty much dead. So let's change the battery first thing. Before we get too deep into those strings. Okay, so we got the back plate off. And I think I can see a problem right here. There's no battery in it at all. So, okay. Guess it just kind of lives right there. Let's plug it in. There we go. Lots of electronics inside this thing. Go ahead and just put this back cover back on. And then we're going to get to those horrible strings. I think somebody, this was somebody's guitar for a long time, and I think they really liked it. Okay. Not too bad. I probably could have sprayed it out before I put that back cover back on it, right? Alright, so our middle pickup is not working. Okay, that's alright. We'll get back in here and we'll work on this a little bit more. Spray out the potentiometers. Get in here and figure out why that center pickup is not working. Okay, so what we're looking at here is there's the bridge pickup. So I think what happened to this guitar is somebody put EMG pickups in it and they never hooked up the middle pickup, which is an old passive pickup that was in the guitar originally. And then as I'm in here looking around, I see that the ground wire that's going to the claw has not been hooked up to anything. It's just sitting here, a bare ground wire. So I think I'm going to ground it to the three-way switch right there. So I've got my soldering iron hooked in, and I think it's because it's got the EMGs in it that are aftermarket. I'm just going to ground this to the three-way switch right there and hope that makes a good ground. So let me get my soldering iron all warmed up, and I'm going to solder this ground wire. Okay, so I got the ground wire hooked up to that 5-way switch. And so I guess it's just going to be one of those guitars that doesn't have a middle pickup, because somebody had modified this thing with EMGs. Which is okay, because man, I get a lot of heavy metal kids that come in and they want EMGs and stuff. I'm going to lay that down narrow like that. There we go. And put it back together. Knowing it does not have a middle pickup. But some of those shredder kids that love the EMGs, I don't know, maybe some of them don't care about the middle position. It is kind of a Clapton thing, right? That middle position. So we're just going to put it back together. And throw strings on it. But at least I got a ground on there now. And maybe that will help it to be a little more quiet. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm noticing that here on the bridge, the G string is really far forward. So I'm going to move that back a little bit. If I can here, let's see. There we go. Alright, and as you can see, I shoved an eraser down underneath there to keep this thing from totally falling all the way down as you take all the strings off. So now all the strings are coming off. These strings, I have to admit, they feel soft and kind of rubbery. But this guitar is going to be a whole new thing once we get a regular set of strings on it. Alright, I got my 10mm wrench, and I always snug the tuners down with every restring. Alright, so I'm going to clean these frets a little bit. So I have a little tiny bit of 1000 grit sandpaper and my fret guard. We're just going to lightly hit these things. These look like probably medium jumbo frets. They're kind of wide. This just gets the top layer of dirt off of them. Not trying to level or crown them or anything, just getting the dirt off of them. This works really good for me. It's quick, and it's very inexpensive. It costs me nothing to clean these babies up like that. And then once we get down here to the higher frets, I switch the guard to the narrow one so we can get in here on these high frets. This guitar does have 22 frets. And if you get all this dirt and everything off of here, you know, not only does it make the guitar look nicer, but it's easier to play when you go to do a string bend or something. Nice and It's nice for string bands. Okay, this is Music Nomad F1 oil that I'm throwing on here. And then I'm going to take a little paper napkin, and I'm just going to spread this stuff on. And this will hydrate and kind of soak in, and it will help whatever dirt that is on here to come off, and it helps clean it up. And it makes it look nice. Because again, this guitar is for sale. So we got to shine this baby up as nice as we can. And I'm just going to let that set on there for a few minutes. And come back. And wipe it all off of there. And it'll bring dirt with it. I think that this guitar, after looking at it, I don't know how much use it actually got. Of course, somebody did install EMG pickups on it, and in their opinion, that was an upgrade. In my opinion, I don't know. Not a big fan of the EMGs, but I'm not much of a shredder either, and so guys like what we like, and I don't really, like the idea of being on stage and worrying about if your battery's going to go dead or something. I used to have an Ibanez RG bass with active pickups, and the battery would go dead and you'd be on stage and then suddenly your bass stops working. It happened to me once. I was at the legendary Mason Jar in downtown Phoenix at 24th Street and Indian School Road. The old Mason Jar. That was probably in the late 80s, 1989 or somewhere around there. I played at the Jar, and my battery went dead. Okay, I've been sitting here polishing these frets for a couple of minutes, and I have to say they look like they are in really nice condition. Oh, let me turn this light on here. Maybe you can see how nice those babies look with a lot of light on them. See, now the camera work, you'll be able to see them better than I can here with my glasses on. But I have them shined up pretty darn good. They look pretty nice. And again, it's all in an effort to have a nice inventory of guitars in the store. I have probably 500 guitars in my shop. And I spend time with almost everyone. I'm not going to say, hey, I restring every guitar, because some come in and they're really nice already. But a lot of them, man, they need a little bit of love. And if you can get them to shine up really nice like that, then it's easier to sell. It makes my job easier. And I enjoy doing this, so that's part of it too. Today's string choice. Okay, today's string choice. Dean Markley. What? Electric 9 through 46. That's right, Dean Markley's. Don't know if they're still making these. Leave me some comments, guys, about Dean Markley strings. Can you still get them? Are they available on Sweetwater anywhere? Okay, so tuning it up here. I'm going to go a half step down on this thing. E flat tuning. Alright, let me get in here and see if I can pull this out. There we go. So that I use this a lot. And there's some bridges that you stack 2 of these on top, and then there's other bridges where this trem block works really good. So that's either 1 eraser, 2 erasers, or the trem block. And my bridge is kind of sinking down a little bit, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to loosen this just a little tiny bit here. Get in there where I can see it. I'm going to loosen the claw just a little, because it's very close to where it should be, but we want it to look really good. So if somebody wants to buy it, they're not going to be like, hey dude, I'll buy this, but it needs a setup. Okay. Okay, I got this thing in standard tuning, and I don't have it locked down yet, but I'm going to cut these strings off of here. And thankfully, this thing has those horrible red strings taken off, and it looks like a real guitar again. Okay, let's just throw it up here, kind of just see how she plays. I found an arm for it. It's chrome, unfortunately, but it fits in there nice and tight because it didn't have an arm. But there it is. It's got EMGs. It's been modified with the EMGs, and the center pickup was never installed. It doesn't bother me too much. Hopefully it won't bother the guys that are looking to maybe purchase this guitar. We'll see what happens. Maybe someday that middle pickup would have to be installed. But the thing is, you know, it's a passive pickup, so... You know, you might be able to wire it up so you've got both pickups on at the same time or something. There could be a different way of rewiring this thing to do that. So anyhow, here it is, guys. It looks a lot better without those red strings on it. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody have a great day. See you in the next video.